today have a McClain edger. Story behind this is that the person bought it, never used it for like years, and kept it in the garage, cleaning out said garage. And got rid of it. So, look at us. Let's see what we have. I know the fuel is probably going to be horrible. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but there is fuel. But it smells like paint thinner. Let's look at the filter. Come on. It's always the last one. The last thread. It's like moldy. Well, we're probably going to get rid of this. Put a new one in. Don't want to inhale mold. Looks pretty good. Why don't we put the fuel cap back on, put you in the stand, put a little starting fluid down here, give it a yank, see what happens. So, let's do this. Starting fluid card cleaner, it's all the same. Choke is off. It's on run. Let's do it. Oh, there we go, that's why. It's like half throttle. Is this blade gonna hit anything? I think it runs all the time. No, it's good. Ooh, I almost forgot to check oil. I have a feeling it's probably okay. Of course, it's going to be rough. Let's see if my hand can just fit down there. Maybe it's the other side, it's a little easier to open. There we go, much better. Oh yeah, there's oil. Actually looks pretty good. Like I said, this thing is pretty nice. You could definitely tell it's been used, don't get me wrong, but I mean, when the filter, it's the only reason why I can't even put this back on, the wheels in the way. But when the filter is basically brand new except for the mold on it, it's usually pretty good sign. There we go. Man, this tire. Tread on the wheels. Looks pretty decent. Let's try this again. You know what? It's a lot easier just to do it this way. Trying to pull on that thing like this is next to impossible. There we go. Sprayed. Yeah, that's good. So, pretty sure we are going to have, at the very least, we're going to have to take out that fuel and get the carburetor started. So, let me get that prepped, bring you back when I'm done. I can never remember exactly what size everything takes, but I know these are 5/16. Oh, when you do this, put on the choke so the throat plate goes down. That way the screw doesn't go down the throat. More likely not, it's not going to go into the engine, but the one time that you don't, it's the day that it somehow finds an incline or decline, rolls directly in there with the valve open. You didn't know the valve could open that deep, but it did. And now you disassemble the head, take the recoil off, everything. This will remove. There we are. I think this is the right one. No, it's not. Maybe it's a T20 instead of T25. It is. Or a flathead, but I like using the T's. Let me show you. We need to take out this one, back there, and sometimes there's one on the top. Yeah, there is. And there should be one right there as well. Trying to experiment with different camera angles. That way, not just watching from afar. I must say, it's a little hard to remember that you're there so my elbow doesn't go whack. But I guess with all things, oh yeah, when you go to almost stop, these holes line up for this final screw. I hope we don't have to get a new gasket. Well, I guess I have one, but it's new enough where I hope it's not permanently meshed to the tank or the carburetor. Or if it is, it's only permanently meshed to one and not the other. Okay, and then the one on the carburetor. Pretty sure that should remove the carburetor except for the actual mounting to the engine. But to make it easier on ourselves, we're going to remove this, except we need to take off this little spring, tension spring for the governor. That's just going to hang there, that's fine. It's like kids going through like a divorced parent's house. I don't know which one they want to go to. This gasket's half on, half off, half going to this one, half going to that one. We want you to choose. Looks like there's two gaskets on here actually. There we go. Oh, the kill wire. That's right. I really hope this is easy to see. Trying out a new autofocus feature on the camera. You know what? No, that's a good idea. Take it off. Yeah, I was just gonna maybe take off the the side plate for the fuel pump and just maybe blow in there and see if I can't get some stuff, but no, just do it right. Besides, this is a neighbor's of mine. Who uses it, I want to say, professionally. Of course. Okay, fine. But not like I wouldn't do a good job even if it wasn't a neighbor's of mine, but sometimes I just don't need to take it off. Sometimes just changing the fuel pump is exactly what you need to do. And that's all that you need to do. And those are the good ones. And while I'm sure that that's a good possibility of this one, I'm not really sure. You probably can't see what I'm doing, huh? Let's further experiment with these angles of ours. So I took off the top one. Now we're going to use a 3/8. Oh, that's tightening. Don't need to do that anymore. Just finished that blower you see in the background. Oh man. You get a blower and you're told it doesn't turn off. You look and see disconnected kill wires. Okay, that's easy enough. I could deal with that. No problem. And then told that it needs to be full all the time. So fix that problem. In fact, that video I think is already up. And then you try to start it and you notice the whole thing's like wobbling. It's like a person on the edge. And you're like, why is that happening? Then eventually you find out the reason why is because 2 of the 4 mounts that hold the engine to the base are broken. Let's see if we can get this out without breaking it. Might have to take the bowl and the tank off. Probably should. Okay. I think that's a 3/8. There's a bolt underneath here I'm going to take out real quick. But anyway. So then you're like, well, that's going to need an extension too. Well, I better tell the person the bad news. Yeah, I'll fix it, but it's probably going to break here soon. So don't get too attached to it. And there it goes. Perfect. It will be easy enough to take out now. And I hope that's a good picture. I mean, double check. Okay, well, we're just going to trust that it is. Let me reach around you here real quick. sure you won't mind. I'd have to take off this linkage. I think that's just halting all of our progress here. Try not to bend it too much, but sometimes it will be bent like I did. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to take this. That bracket was making it difficult, of course. Yeah, pretty glad I did that. So this is what I'm talking about. Inside there, it's a cavity. So how it works is that main area that has fuel. There's a pump in the end, carb that pumps fuel in there from the bottom. See the long tube? That long tube picks up the fuel, sends it into there. So this little cavity is technically the float bowl. So you wouldn't want to not clean your float bowl when you're cleaning your carburetor, so don't want to not do this either. And if you notice the color of that gasoline, nice, isn't it? Well, let's go ahead and do the carb station. Okay, so we're going to be mainly concerned over is this piece and the other side. And it's a smaller. Let's see if a T15 will work. Yes, it is. Very good. So you don't really want to crank down on these, because behind here is this tiny little diaphragm. Well, you're probably not going to damage the diaphragm. Maybe you would. I don't know. But what you will do is tweak this and bend it, so it won't make a good sealing or have a good sealing ability, because parts of it will be unable to seal. You're completely, it's not straight anymore, so pieces of it will be touching, other pieces will not. Oh, see that? Oh, I didn't do that. Oh yeah, this is trash. It's not even bother to look at that anymore. Okay. Sometimes they have this little twirling piece in the center. I usually take that out. Fuel filter, we'll blow that out. Other than that, it doesn't seem too bad. The other piece that we're worried about is over here. This is the jet I'm going to want to review. This is a newer version. The older ones actually have like a jet that's removable that you take out. I mean, granted, so is this, but it's adjustable, and the needle goes inside of the jet, so you have to take the needle out, the packing out, take the jet out, and then behind it you have to clean it. But this one is just a fixed. It's a little dirty, not too bad. I'm going to turn on the ultrasonic. My neighbor got a new V6, well, not new, but new to him, V6 Mustang, and he decided to weld a Folgers can to it. Everyone knows that increases horsepower by at least 12%. When choosing muffler, choose Folgers. Okay, well, I'm going to put this in the cleaner and then bring you back. So So it's done. It didn't quite get as warm as I would like, but oh well. So, pretty sure, like I said, this would have worked even if I didn't. I forgot to blow this off. Do this, but that was probably super loud. But, you know, I just cleaned it anyway. Make sure when you do blow everything out, you blow out the tube, that this is the main jet. You blow everything out. Just you're already cleaning it, you might as well make sure you're actually doing a good job. And you want to look at the condition of this tube. These are replaceable. Granted, good luck with you on that one. It's not an easy task in hand to replace that tube. Or, well, it's easy enough to replace it, just not easy enough to actually let it work properly. So I'll put a link in the description below, but this is just a diaphragm and spring with a little companion there. I'll put this, what these are little flaps, and with the vacuum of the engine, it will cause them to open and shut, causing fuel to move into that little cavity I was talking about, where the main jet, which is in that cavity, will then draw from it. So if you are ever at a point when you are having a really hard time with one of these, this goes all the way up to like the 5 horsepower ones. You can just put a little starting fluid down the center just to get it started. Over time it will, you know, pump enough. Otherwise you would have to manually pump everything, or pull to pump it. Or you could fill your tank to the very, very brimming full top and just fill that little cavity. Because what it does is it's continuously filling, but one side of it's actually a little bit low, has a cutout, and that cutout allows the fuel to spill back into the tank. So it's just like a circular motion. Okay. This part is just flapping in the wind, but it's not too important. It's just the gasket that rides on that little throttle plate. I blew that out and cleaned it out. Oh, you probably can't see anything. This is jet number 18. Tight, not too tight. Okay. Exception of just putting those back on. Let's put it back on the machine. I cleaned out that little bowl. It's not perfect, but it's definitely a lot better than it was. And I emptied the tank. Actually, there's that little cutout I was saying. It just kind of flies or goes through there, fills up to that point, and then runs out the side. I think there's another one. Yeah, there's another one on this side too. Probably can't. There we go. Let's retrieve the bolt that we dropped. So, the easiest way of doing this is putting the carburetor back on it the way it is. There we are. Now, what we have to do is we have to put that. You know what? Let's move you so you can see a little more of this, but let us put the top one. I don't want to say these have to go in order, but some of them, they need to have the plate on there first. The rest of it will line up later. Okay. So now, let's put this back on. There we go. Ah, the breather tube is getting us. That didn't fall off. It did. And the gasket fell off. Straighten that out. There we are. Now the easiest way of doing this is going to be just put the bolt back in. And that way at least the tank is nice and supported. We'll tighten that up once we get the right angle. Okay. Nope. Come on. That doesn't seem right at all, does it? There we go. Where's the screwdriver? Oh, there it is. And this one. Barely not big enough for a ratcheting wrench. These are a lot better than the old ones, though. The old ones, oh man, they were a lot harder. I'll just tighten them up with a screwdriver. The spacing was a lot closer to the end, or to the throat. Okay, now I'm going to take that, shove that back in its home. If it plays well, that is. There we go. And this little clip goes over it. Very important. Now, if only I could find the correct screwdriver for this, make it a lot easier on me. But no. Before you do that, you want to put this on. This has a giant pain if you don't put it on. There we go. Oh yeah, that's right, that's a small one. Boo. Get the tank lined up. Accept the screw. There we go. Now we need to attach this back on its correct place, and then put this back on there. Which one's the choke? The bottom one's the choke. There we go. And while this is easy, let's put the kill wire back on. It's a lot harder when you forget that one. You know what, we'll just put this one in first. You know what, I'm going to try to find that correct screwdriver or driver. I was too efficient to put it away. There we go. And now we have this one down the center of it. This one's a tad rough to find. There we go. They make one of these that have a Honda engine on it. And while I have zero against Honda, I just kind of like this type better for whatever reason. Just something about a flathead Briggs. Okay, so now let's check. Choke works good. Throttle, we are missing that little spring. There we go. And we are we're going to put gas cap on, tighten this one because we kind of want the throttle to move. Everything moves freely. Go around one more time. Don't have any extra bolts so far. We're good. Now we're going to put this back on. A while back I had done a video on why it's good to kind of buy stuff in bulk even if you don't, you know, do this. You're just watching it for learn how to fix your own. Like, this is the same filter that's going to go in on the lawnmower pressure washer, as long as it's like the G, or the G series. Or I guess they're all G series. Like the smaller, like the 160s, the 190s, stuff like that. Same thing for the Briggs. It's going to be the same for that one. Except for some of the weird newer ones. They like to have their own filter now, but if you still have like a flathead version, which never get rid of if you do, it takes the same filter. And this one I don't think was very tight. There we go. Now for our $1 filter. Right back on. Actually, no, we're not going to do that yet. Because I forgot the throttle linkage. Let's just make this easy on ourselves and just get the 5/16. I said I wasn't missing any screws too. I looked down, something was blocking one. Okay, so it was that doesn't seem right, does it? Is there anything else you can connect to? No, not really. Just doesn't seem right. Well, let's connect it and see what happens. If it binds, and we know we did something wrong. So it is set to fast on the throttle handle. Let's put this in. Looks good to me. And this metal plate fits horribly. Usually they fit a lot smoother, but this one holes are just a little bit off in each one of them. So I'm going to fill it with gas, put you back up there, be right back. I did forget to show, I did tighten the 3/8 was holding the tank on, so I did that while you weren't looking. I don't feel like yanking on this thing all day, so I think what we are going to do is put a little starting fluid, if I could, there it is, right behind you, if you're hiding it. Down the throat. When you do this, you don't want to have the choke on. You want to have it like half throttle and open choke. Probably just conceal all my back, so beware. That's no good. What's the plug look like? Is it just bent? So I heard it try. Yeah, a little wet. While we have this off, let's put a little bit down here. Set this way. Focus. Try full throttle now. Didn't seem very much like full throttle, did it? Oh, no, that was not full throttle. Let's turn on choke and see what happens now. So it runs pretty good. The only thing that I'm going to do is this. You can put a tack on it, you can do whatever you want, but it's not over revving, so that's good. That was my concern, but I just want a little bit more speed. It just sounds slow. It could be a 36 right now, I just don't think so, and I don't feel like getting one of those tacks out that you have to connect to the spark plug. Was it induction? So I just want a little bit more speed. So let me show you what we're going to be doing here. Right here, we're just going to add a little bit more tension. There we go. Just a tad. And it's probably warm enough so I don't need choke, but let's try it half throttle. I like it. It's a lot better. Okay, well, I think that's about it. The plug was fine, oil was fine. I think it just sat around for a really long time. Needed to have a new fuel pump diaphragm put in. Yet again, I'll put a link in the description below for that. Yeah, this should be about it. Even the blade is sharp. I mean, there's really not much more I can do on that. The belt is in excellent condition. If I had to guess, this has a few hours on the max, if that. Okay, well, this is how you fix a 3.5 horsepower Briggs and Stratton engine that's attached to a McClain edger. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. If you like what you see, throw a thumbs up. That definitely helps me. If you can definitely subscribe, I would be appreciative, and I will see everyone later. Have a good rest of your night.